Hey guys, welcome back to the SewGnar Sewing Patterns channel. Today I'm going to show you how I make my newest pattern, the tall wallet. This wallet is a fun, quick sew, and it creates a super slim vertical wallet. Has 10 recessed card slots, which is a fun feature in this pattern. 1 ID slot, 2 cash or check areas, has a zipper coin pouch along the back, and it all closes with a magnetic snap. So stay tuned. So to get started, I have all of my pattern pieces cut and ready to go. I will link a video below where I show you how I used my brother's scan and cut to cut out all of my pieces. But right now I have card slot panel B, card slot panel A. You can see all of my card slots are already cut. I have the outer body panel, and I went ahead and prepped it by cutting out my zipper box, and then the lining panel, which you see has nothing done to it yet. I have my vinyl piece cut, and if you can tell, I already cut out a thumb hole there. I also used my brother's scan and cut for that. My vinyl backing, my vinyl ID backing for the window. 2 snap tabs, scrap piece of interfacing for inside the snap tab, my actual snap, and then a zipper, which calls for 6-inch or higher. You can cut it down to fit. So the first step that I'm going to do is prep my snap tab. So on one side of the snap tab, I'm going to make my mark to put in the male portion of my snap. I'm just going to center that. Cut my lines. And inset the snap here. Most people recommend setting your snap prongs in towards the center, but as you can see, I do mine towards the outside. Otherwise, there's going to be a big obvious bump on whenever it's sandwiched together. So you can choose what you want to do there, but I'm going to put mine to the side. I'm going to grab some glue and glue down my scrap interfacing piece. Being sure to glue over the prongs. I'm going to add some glue to the wrong side of the other snap tab piece. And then I'm going to glue them wrong sides together. All right, so we'll set that to the side for top stitching in a little bit. The next step that I'm going to do is get my zipper ready. And so what I like to do to prepare my cork, whenever there's a raw edge, I quickly burn it. So I'm just going to burn around the inside of that zipper box. You can use double-sided tape or glue for this, but you don't want to use pins if you're using cork because it will leave holes. So I'm going to put thin line of glue around my zipper box, and then with my zipper head to the left, I'm going to flip my outer body panel over and glue my zipper into the opening. You want to make sure that your zip tape is centered on all sides so that it looks nice in the end. Alrighty, so we've got those two ready to be top stitched. I'm going to move over to my machine and show you how I do that. Alright, so I've got my thread all ready to go. I'm going to use a length 3 for my stitch, and I usually use a size 14 needle. My favorite are the titanium tipped, but microtex also works well, and then of course just your standard quilting needle works just fine too. So I'm starting on one long edge with the magnetic snap up. And now I'm going to sew my zipper. Gotta move your zipper head out of the way. I like to back stitch over my zip ends just to be sure that it doesn't move once I trim the zipper down. we go. Now we're going to trim our threads. Whoa. And trim our threads over here too. All right, so I've got my zipper top stitched, and next I'm going to trim the zipper down. So I'm going to fold the right side up and trim, leaving about 1/4 inch. You can see back here. And these I'll just trim down, keep them out of the way. And then I'm going to trim down any excess that I have around my magnetic snap. I'm a stickler for having things be nice and flush and even. So I do this throughout the pattern construction. And burn the edges, make them all nice. There we go. Okay, so next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my outer body pattern piece and I'm gonna mark where my female portion of my magnetic snap goes. And go ahead and get that put in. And I'm going to set in my male portion of my magnetic snap. There we go. Try to get all the cat hair from the wrong side, and I'm going to go ahead and trim up any threads that I have back here from putting in my zipper. Whoa. Okay, and then to complete this outer body panel, we're going to glue down, or you can use double-sided tape, but you want to mark. I just do it visually, but you want to go with magnetic snap side down. You're going to glue with 1/4 inch onto the wrong side. Let me flip it, make it a little easier, but okay, so wrong side up, pattern piece, line it up. Let's see. That's right. Perfect. And now I'm going to glue my magnetic snap piece down to my outer body panel. Yeah, it's got glue everywhere. Another way that you can do that is just center your outer body panel between two of the markings, and then you want to center this. Oh. There we go. So, yep, you want to do 1/4 inch, glue 1/4 inch of the magnetic snap to the wrong side of the outer body panel. And then I'm going to clip it and let it dry. We're now done with this piece until the very end of the final construction. So the next step is that we're going to create our recessed card slots on card slot panel A. So I already have my card slots cut with my brother Scan and Cut. So what I'm going to do is just splay these open a bit, and I'm going to burn underneath just to help seal from the fraying. There we go. I used basting spray on the wrong side whenever I cut using my Scan and Cut, so it's a little bit tacky and it just picks up anything and everything that it comes in contact with. Okay, so the first step that we're going to do is we're going to start at the bottom card slot, which is card slot panel 6. And for this step, I'm going to use double stick tape, but glue works just as well. It's just a little bit slower of a process. So I'm going to cut off about 1.5 inches of tape. Just lay it just underneath card slot 6. And then because I have the tape here, I'm just going to put tape below every single card slot now, just to make it a little bit easier. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to make sure that the tape goes underneath each card slot. If you're using glue, you would not put glue underneath each slot yet. You would do that individually. Otherwise, you'd end up gluing your ribbon to the wrong place. So only if you're using double stick tape can you do this. All right, so I've got my tape on all of them, and it's underneath every single card slot. So I'm going to peel off just the bottom, if I can get it. There we go. And I'm going to center my ribbon, which you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but this is not actually ribbon. I use landscaping fabric. This is the black fabric that you put down to stop weeds from growing. And I find that's much more cost effective than ribbon, and it works just as well. And it's super, super thin, so it doesn't add any bulk. Using regular cotton quilting adds a lot of bulk when you're making these card slots. That's why I say that you need a super thick or super thin textile to do this with. And ribbon usually works out great. But if you plan on making a lot of tall wallets, I highly suggest getting the landscaping fabric. Comes on a huge roll. Okay, so what I did is I just laid my landscaping fabric just underneath card slot 6 on top of that double stick tape. And then I'm going to move to my machine and top stitch just below this slot, just to make sure that this doesn't ever move around. If your tape is strong enough, or if you're using permanent glue, you can skip doing the top stitching on the right side if you'd like. All right, so I'm going to top stitch just below card slot 6 to being sure to catch my fabric in my seam. I'm going to start at the beginning of the line and just top stitch all the way the entire length of it, back stitching at beginning and end. I'm going to trim my threads here, and you can see on the back where I got it, I captured the fabric, and then on the front. There we go. With our fabric to the bottom of the card slots, I'm going to grab my accordion fold template, and I'm going to line up the top edge. You can see on the template it tells you the top edge with card slot 5. And then I'm going to fold the excess. I'm going to fold it up and over, and I'm going to crease at the bottom. Next, I'm going to carefully slide my template out. Move this back a little bit so you can see a little bit better. I know it's hard to tell with this cork backing being black what I'm doing, but I'm trying to explain for you. So maintaining that crease, I'm going to peel that next double stick tape line that I have underneath card slot 5, and then I'm going to lay my ribbon on top of it. And I'm going to flip my card slot panel over, and I'm going to top stitch just under card slot 5. So now that that's done, I'm going to flip it back over wrong side, flip the ribbon down towards the bottom of the card slot panel, use my template, line up the top edge on card slot 4, flip my ribbon over, hold that crease down at the bottom, simultaneously peel off the next double stick tape, and then lay it down. Flip and top stitch. I'm sure you get the idea now, but so I'm going to just continue all the way up until I'm out of card slots. need just a little bit more length here, so I'm going to join two pieces of the landscaping fabric. So on this last card slot, you'll see there's no line here to demarcate where you need to do your fold. So I'm going to line up my top edge of my panel, or of my template piece, leaving a 1/4 inch gap here. Let's see. So you're going to leave a 1/4 inch gap here. And that is where you're going to put your last piece of tape. Right there in that 1/4 inch gap. That gap is also what's going to allow you to get the proper spacing for your last card slot. So top edge, a 1/4 inch from the top edge of the card slot panel, slide it out, hold your crease that you created around your ribbon, and then we're going to fold it up. And so at this step, we're not going to top stitch. What we're going to do is trim the excess of the ribbon. Let's see. And then I'm going to move back over to my cutting table so that I can show you the next step. Alrighty, so next what I'm going to do is you're going to fold the side that we have not been adding the card slots to up and over to create that card slot panel. And what that does is it encases all of the card slots that we just created. And I like to use my double stick tape with this or my glue. It's up to you, whatever you want to use. If you use glue, be sure that you have some clips on hand. I find that using double stick tape, it gums up my needle a bit, so I do switch back to glue throughout the construction of this video, or of the construction of the wallets. So what I'm going to do is just apply glue around these recessed card slots that I just made. You don't need a ton, so you want it to dry quickly. So I created a box around my card slots, and now I'm going to fold the opposite side up and over, lining up my raw edges here on the outside. Oh, whoa, did a terrible job. Let's try that again. Let's see, so lining up. There we go, that looks a little better. So I'm just going to clip it into place while this glue dries. And feel free to add your tag at any point. Mine are sew-in, so I went ahead and added that before I even cut out my card slot pieces. Again, if you watch that other video that I made using my brother's scan and cut to cut this, you'll see that my tag was already on there. I like for my tag to be in that placement. You can see here, it's on the left side card slot panel for me. But I've also put them out here on the back. That was really cute. And of course, you can put it wherever you'd like, but I find that I like it best on the inside now. Okay, so the next step that we're going to do is just top stitch. We'll start at the top bevel here, go down this long side, and then we're going to stop down here. And then this card slot panel will be done until the final construction. So next up in the process is we're going to prep our ID window here. I'm going to burn around the inside edge. And while I've got the lighter, I'm just going to go ahead and burn the back where the card slots will go. And then I'm going to glue my ID window in. So I'm going to put a thin line of glue all the way around my opening for my ID box. I'm going to lay my vinyl in the opening with a 1/4 inch overhang on all 4 sides. If you can see the overhang. Next what I'm going to do is just flip my card slot panel B right side up, and I'm going to top stitch around all 4 sides, just under 1/8 of an inch. Having the Teflon foot and this step really helps. Alrighty, so we've got our vinyl set into our ID box. Flip my piece back up to wrong side up. And then I'm going to get the piece of fabric that I have cut, and this is going to be what shows from this side without a card in it. So what I'm going to do is, as shown in the pattern, you can see the boundary box, but you're going to glue above this last card slot here. You glue above it and down and around, and then we're going to lay our fabric in there. So above card slot 1, 2, 3, 4, above card slot 5. Because what's going to happen is card slot 5, the actual card slot on the front side, that's going to be the slot that you use to slide your ID into the ID window, which is why we're gluing this fabric above that slot. And so there it is. And this we don't actually top stitch into place, because after we do the card slots and it gets folded and we do our top stitching, you'll notice, or you probably won't notice, but you'll have to trust me, it gets caught in those final stitches, so it'll be fine. We don't need to sew that down. All right, so just like before, we're going to gather our accordion piece, accordion fold template. Whoops, as I move my entire machine around. So our accordion fold template and our ribbon, in my case landscaping fabric. And so because card slot 5, see if I can show you here, it's a bit fiddly, but see, that's card slot 5 right there. So from the wrong side, we're going to skip card slot 5. We're going to lay the top edge of the template piece on card slot 4. Oh wait, psych, just kidding. Just kidding, just kidding. I'm actually going to lay tape down first. So you lay tape just below card slot 4. And we're going to glue or tape our ribbon down first, just below card slot 4. Flip it right side up, and then we're going to top stitch that ribbon into place. And remember, skip card slot 5. You're top stitching just below card slot 4. If you want to make it look cohesive, you would, before you put your backing down, you would do a dummy stitch below card slot 5, but in all honesty, I forgot, and I'm just going to leave it. All right, so now we're wrong side up again. We have our ribbon towards the bottom of the panel. Accordion fold template, that's where this comes in. We're going to line it up on card slot 3. Flip our ribbon up and over, create a crease at the bottom. Carefully slide the pattern piece out. Oh, and this is where I messed up again. I'm going to put a weight there so that I can apply my tape. I'm going to go ahead and apply the tapes because more than likely I'll forget to do it again. So I'm going to put tape below all of my card slots like I did on card slot panel A. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to peel off the tape, remove my weight, flip my ribbon up and over, apply pressure. Flip right side up and top stitch. Flip it to where it's back to wrong side up. Let's get our ribbon back down, and you know the drill. So we're gonna accordion fold template, line it up on card slot 2. Put the tape in that 1/4 inch gap at the top. Accordion fold template, line it up with the bottom of the tape. Flip, slide, peel. I think we came up with the process: flip, slide, peel. And stick. So now we're going to trim. I don't know what I did with my scissors. Oh. Trim the excess. Ooh, almost cut my cord. Oh no, use glue. So just like with card slot panel A, we're gonna apply glue around the 4 edges here. Flip the side up, line up all raw edges. And then I'm just going to top stitch on the folded edge. I'm going to go ahead and trim my bevels here just to make sure that they match. And then there we go. Now we have card slot panel B. So I noticed that I had a little bit of overhang here. So at this point, before I go any farther, I'm going to trim this edge. Oh, my husband just came to my studio window to tell me bye and scared the ever-living bejesus out of me. My God, that was scary. Okay. Okay, so we're going to flip. Our lining panel needs to be, let's see, I can't remember. So we want it to be the 7 inches, which is the length of our pockets. And what we're going to do is glue our pockets down. to our lining panel. So just down the 3 sides here, we're going to apply thin glue. Whoa. I'm going to line up all of my raw edges. And if we have any overhang, we'll trim that after we get it glued down. We just really want to make sure that our left and right edges, which would be these two, are as flush as possible. All right, so we glue that side down too. We've got some glue in here. All right, so I'm going to trim my corners. Let's see. So we got a little bit of overhang from the pocket, so I'm going to trim that now. I missed it. Missed it again. Jesus. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is in the pattern, I have outlined a boundary box, which will become the coin pouch on the inside. I'm just gonna eyeball mine, but I'm gonna add glue around my zipper and down to about halfway on the outer body panel. And then I prefer to have my coin slot on the side that has my ID slot, so that's how I'm going to lay mine together. But you can do either side. And we just want to make sure that all of the raw edges are lined. You can see here I've got a little bit of a gap on my corner. Trim that down. Okay, so now I'm gonna roll this side up and I'm going to glue down this other side here. I don't bother interfacing this snap because it'll be encased and glued down to the inside of the wallet. I'm going to put some clips on it, hold everything in place. Here we go. And the next step is we're going to top stitch around the entire outside. So in this last step, I have the outer body panel right side up because whenever you're sewing around this magnetic snap, it makes it easier if it's face up. So just choose wherever you want to start. I'm just going to start here on this long edge. Using 1/8 seam, you sew everything together. There's no need to rush this step. Take your time. You're sewing through a lot of layers, and when you're coming off of the card slot panels, you're going from 4 layers of cork down to 2 and then back up to 4, and then you're going up to 6 over here on the snap tab. So be sure to take your time in this final sewing. I like to backstitch wherever my card slots meet my body panel because those are going to be high stress areas. You can feel the difference in the thickness when you're sewing. I also backstitch where my snap tab meets. And just give it a few back stitches throughout the length of the tab. Trim any threads. So the final step is you need to sew to create the zipper coin pouch, because right now it's just open to the entirety of the outer body. So the way that I do this is I flip to where my card slots are right side up, and then I sew just following this using card slot panel B as my boundary box. I sew around it. And I like to do it when it's flip my whole panel to where my ID is up at the top. And I just use this card slot panel as my guide. Then trim any threads. And then there we go. So thank you for joining me on this sew along. Do me a favor, click the thumbs up button. Let me know that you liked the video. Leave me a comment. And you can also subscribe with the little circular narwhal over here in the corner. That way you can follow me, be subscribed to my channel. And then check out this other video that I have linked here. That is for a free sewing pattern of the business card wallet. That pattern is available on my website along with my tall wallet pattern, which I will link below in the description box. All of my patterns are there and available. I also have SVG files to use on your automatic cutting machine and all of that jazz. So again, thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful evening or day, wherever you are.